From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Kayla Cockrell with today's Free Press Voice Briefing. It's Monday, February 6th, 2023.
I'm Kristen Seamus with a story that could make you think twice the next time you get a mammogram, CT scan, or MRI. Many of us are eager to see the results of such tests, but few of us notice the name of the radiologist who interpreted them. The story I'm going to tell today illustrates why that matters more than most of us realize. It's about a doctor named Mark Guilfoyle, a diagnostic radiologist who got his medical degree in 1984 from Michigan State University. He has practiced for 35 years, both in Michigan and in New Hampshire. Guilfoyle failed to see a brain infection on the CT scan of Brian Scott Dutcher, a father of 5 from Seaboing, a small town in Michigan's thumb. Dutcher was told his brain test was normal, when actually he had life-threatening abscesses. He was just 34 years old when he died a little more than a week later. Guilfoyle also missed evidence of breast cancer in the mammograms of potentially dozens of women in New Hampshire. The medical licensing boards in 7 states took disciplinary action against him. New Hampshire barred Guilfoyle from ever reading mammograms again, but now he is back in Michigan, working with privileges at Garden City Hospital. The Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs says there's no such restriction prohibiting Guilfoyle from reading mammograms here. However, through his attorney, Guilfoyle said he hasn't interpreted a mammogram screening since 2017, when his work first came under scrutiny.
I'm Free Press columnist Neil Rubin with a question. What would you do if you lived in the bumper-to-bumper world of Los Angeles and someone gave you a screaming 470 horsepower Jeep SRT Hellcat? That's a decision that fell to J. Chris Newberg, who moved from Birmingham to Hollywood 19 years ago to become less than rich and famous as a comedian. Even though Newberg said he didn't want it, his late father James recently left him a rocket shaped like a Jeep Grand Cherokee. James was an engineer and a bit of a wild man. J. Chris is a guy who drove Hondas. The slower the better. But he finally punched the gas on the Jeep the other day, and in those few seconds at warp speed, well, I hope you'll read my column to find out what happened.
I'm Kirkland Crawford with the Free Press Sports Department checking in on Michigan basketball. At this point last week, things were looking mighty bleak for the Maize and Blue as they were reeling from a 22-point loss at Penn State. But since then, a solid win over Northwestern was followed up on Sunday by a 77-69 win over the Buckeyes in Ann Arbor. Hunter Dickinson had 26 points and 11 rebounds, and freshman Jet Howard added 16 points. So now, at 13-10 overall and 7-5 in the Big Ten, Michigan is just a game out of second place in the conference with a chance to keep up in that muddled race this week. They host Nebraska on Wednesday before welcoming Indiana on Saturday, and the Hoosiers are knocking off number 1 Purdue this past weekend. Those bleak NCAA tournament hopes are starting to brighten up just a bit for Michigan.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out free.com.